What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and this is your Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. I'm not going to watch and recap this time because I actually watched the episode and took notes. So we're going to go by our notes. Hopefully, it won't take that long because I got some stuff to do today, so I can't really sit down and watch it. So I watched everything last night. This overall, the episode was actually really good. It actually showed kind of the effects that divorce are having is having on Martell, and he's kind of on his sliding on his way down to the end. There at one point during the episode, he said he's preparing for his rock bottom, and that was really as raggedy as Martell is, and how he dishonored his marriage. Divorce is real, right? Children are affected by a divorce, friends are affected by divorce, businesses are affected by divorce, things are affected by divorce, and we're actually getting a glimpse into this. I really hope that OWN is providing Melody with and Martell with resources to get through this divorce, especially for their children. All I could think about was their children going through this life changing, life altering experience on television, and how it's going to be on TV for as long as TV lasts. We're going to be able to see this part of their lives. They're going to be able to go back and watch this part of their lives. And I just really hope that they have everybody in therapy. They are allowing us a glimpse into their world. Melody and Martell could have said, hey, we're going to sit this season out. They could have said that. But they are the bravery that both of them, I can extend to both of them for allowing us a glimpse inside of their world. Martell is saying, I didn't, why does she go to the internet? Well, people go to the internet to express themselves, whether you like it or not. They go to the internet to express themselves, to release. I've done it. I do it. I used to use, if you follow me on Twitter for any amount of time, Twitter was a place for me to really process the things that I have gone through in my life, and it helped me a lot. In addition to therapy, of course, but to be able to express myself. You don't have people, sometimes you don't feel like you have anyone to talk to, and you feel like you could just put it out in the air. It doesn't matter who sees it, but you're able to just get it out and release it and to get it out of you. And I think for a lot of people, social media is therapeutic. And of course, you don't want anybody telling a story about their experience with you and you're not being painted in a good light. Nobody likes that. Nobody. So I always say, be mindful of the role that you play in somebody's life, because one day they're going to talk and they're going to share their story. And if you played a role that makes you look bad, whether it was 20 years ago, whether it was 15 years ago, the fact remains that person had an experience with you, and they can and they have the right to share their experience, right? So that's why it's important that when you're walking through this life on your journey, that you are mindful of the role that you play in someone's life. Because when it's time to share, you can't say anything. Now, you might not be the same person, but doesn't mean that the experience didn't happen to that person. And that's just what it is. So Marceau is at his house, and Maurice walks in, and he just got into that car accident. And he said Martell spilled his guts about the cheating, about everything, and about Mel cheating, about him cheating. And he was like, well, how many children? Marceau, everybody knows about the rumor about the extra child coming around. So Marceau was like, yeah, how many sons had Father Abraham? Father Abraham had many sons. And so the word is on the street. And so Marceau is trying to get it out of Maurice, but Maurice promised that he wouldn't say anything. It wouldn't come from him. It wouldn't come from him. So he tells his brother, maybe you just need to talk to Martell and have a conversation, because he does need a friend right now. And he says, you know what, I'm really cautious about dealing with Martell because he's very emotional, and I don't want to do business with someone whose head is not in the game. So I'm not going back to dealing with him on a business level, because he's just really proving that his head is not in the game. And that's how businesses are affected by divorce because you're going through something right now. I don't want to do business with you. I already know how you do business. You're really shady in your business practices. Now I see you're shady in the business of your marriage. I'm cool. I'm good. Melody is combing her children's hair and speaking positively about their hair and explaining, how wonderful their hair is and these are your crowns and this and that. Just having that conversation, I think it's important for especially Black parents to have conversations with their boys and their girls and give them a healthy relationship with their hair, because our hair, really, Black people, is how we express ourselves. We're in men and women. The way that we style our hair, the color of our hair, that's how we express ourselves. And in our society that we live in, we are told that the hairstyles that we like are ghetto or unprofessional, all these different things. And then white women and non-Black women can go out and have the same hairstyles and they're not deemed the same way. And so now you feel bad about, like, what's wrong with my hair? Why can't I wear my hair this way? All this other stuff. So it's important to have those conversations. And this is kind of on the after Wanda made comments about the children's hair, because apparently Letitia's children, their hair is a different texture. So I don't know if she was on that shit, Miss Wanda, but more than likely she was, because we do have people in our community who still are worried about the texture of a child's hair and will say, yeah, you got nappy hair and this and that, and be negative about it. So you do have to nip that shit in the bud, because you do not want your children, your Black children, to have a negative relationship with their hair. You just don't want to. So she said, since Martell didn't fix it, I'm going to need to do it with Wanda. He didn't do it the right way, so I'm going to do it. So she calls Letitia and she tells Letitia, you are aware of what your mom said about my children's hair. And I'm really shocked and disappointed, that she would do that. Letitia completely ignores her and says, that's odd. That doesn't sound like something she would do. The same woman who just came to another child's graduation party and tore shit up and came through and wrecked everything back, acted like she forgot something, came back and wrecked it again. But you don't understand, and that doesn't sound like something that she would do. It's that issue right there. I was like, did she just? And then she completely ignored Melody and was like, well, I'm going to have this event and it's about, hey, brown girls and this and that. And she was like, Melody was trying to get her to be like, girl, yeah, but the thing with your mom. And she was like completely ignoring her. I could not. I don't know. I was like, that really kind of, it made me feel, I don't know, it made me feel some kind of way when she did that. I was like, are you really going to ignore her and her concerns about what your mom said and then turn around and invite her to an event and you are just going to ignore her? It was really weird. That doesn't sound like something she would do. So then when she invites her to the event, she tells her that she's going to text Martell. What are you texting Martell for? I'm going to bring them. She's like, well, he drops them off. She's like, I'm not dropping my kids off nowhere. Especially, I'm on the phone with you talking about a concern that I have of your mother's. You think I'm going to drop my children off somewhere at your event? No, we're not doing that. Well, he drops them off. She was like, oh, well, we don't do drop-offs, honey. We're not about to do that. I just thought it was weird the way Letitia completely ignored the concern and just brushed it off and was like, that doesn't even sound like something my mom would do. Roll the tapes of every time Wanda has fucked up an event. Roll the tapes of every time your mom has stepped outside of her lane. Roll the tapes. And what we have is a problem here of a woman who is not holding her mother accountable. She thinks that she can do whatever she wants to. We are not in that era anymore where these black ass elders think that they can come into a room, say what they want to say because God put it on their heart or the devil made them do it, or I'm going to say what I want to say and y'all not going to say. No, this is a new era of children, adult children, who who are saying disrespectful elders, we're not holding space for that. We're not allowing you to say whatever the hell you want to say. You're going to stop doing that. And if you don't stop doing that, you won't be invited to any events. Okay? Crazy. Anyways, Letitia's back from school or whatever. He explains about the car accident and said that it was 5 cars altogether. And he said from the accident, he realized the importance of being impactful. And he mentioned Stacey Abrams about how she lost the race and then she came back and got everybody to vote and they flipped everything. So he correlated, I don't know how he put those two things together, but based on his accident, that's what he says. He wants to be more of an impact. So Letitia says, "How when I was gone, how was it with my mom?" He said, "Well, she went off to Birmingham." She was like, "Well, how did that happen? Like, what happened?" He said, "Well, she had 3 other kids with her, and your mother doesn't know any boundaries." And so she says, "Well, I think she's been doing well." And that's I feel like when someone is giving you the reality of someone's behavior and you turn around and completely ignore the fact and then suggest that something else is happening instead of what actually happened, that is gaslighting. And I know we are tired of hearing those two buzzwords, gaslighting and narcissism, but this is what's happening here. Ignoring the facts, ignoring the reality, and then adding something that doesn't have anything to do with and acting like you're totally oblivious to the behavior and saying, that's not what I see. The reality in front of you is not what I see. That's gaslighting. And I'm telling you, that's not what you see either. So now you're thinking, this lady is acting crazy and you're just completely ignoring her. Girl, no, no, absolutely not. She's doing well. What? She's not doing well. So as they're talking about Wanda, Wanda comes in the door with all these damn kids and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, I heard you got into an accident. You see, I can't even go anywhere without you getting into trouble." He makes a joke and says, "Yeah, the insurance said that you had already called trying to figure out if I had died already." And she's like, "So you went hiking with your friends, but maybe you were in the car with somebody else. Why would you take a sports car to a camping trip?" I'm going to tell you this, and from my experience, when a man comes on, say everybody is camping, right? We're going camping or we're going to another event, and the man shows up in a car that doesn't match where we're going, you've been in that car with somebody else. There's no reason. And when Miss Wanda said it, I said, it just reminded me of experiences and observations that I've seen when I know that a man has been somewhere else with somebody else and he arrives to a family function in a sports car. When we out here at the park and we're out here camping or we're down here at the lake and you want to show up in your sports car. Where were you? Why didn't you take a work truck? Why didn't you take another car? Why are you taking a sports car? So Wanda was like, "I feel like you was in the car with somebody else." And Letitia didn't say anything at first. And she says, "You don't," he says, "I don't think you know." Um, and then he hits Wanda with, "Who hurt you?" Miss Wanda says she's gonna act like that till the day she dies. Kimmy can't tell her how to act. Kimmy can't tell her how to act. He says, "And I'm not gonna let you push Letitia over. I'm not gonna let you push her over." Because I think part of Marceau's attraction to Letitia is that he can tell her whatever the hell she wants. And that's why Wanda is there. And I said it on another review that we don't like Wanda overstepping her boundaries. We don't like Wanda being the disrespectful elder. But she knows that he is with her daughter so he can push her over and say whatever he wants to say, and she's gonna believe it. She's gonna just go ahead and believe it. And sometimes the pushy mother is there to make sure that I know what you're up to. You can play this shit with my daughter, but I done clocked your shit, homeboy. So you may not like me around. You may not like what I want to say. But when it comes to my fucking kid, nigga, I see you. And I'm letting you know I see you. Because don't no nigga go to a camping trip in a fucking sports car. So where were you before? What was you doing before? Why the hell would you take a sports car to a camping trip? I want to know that too. And I'm not gonna. And what was that? And then she brings up the other side of the tracks comment. Well, we were raised differently. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Wanda. Well, based on what we know from what Letitia has explained to us, Wanda had Letitia very young, and her grandmother raised her. So what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? So what you did was you went and found a girl who has a hard time expressing herself verbally, and you went and found her. And now you married her. And now you expect her to be this stay-at-home mom. And it was really weird. And she's like, well, I came here to help. I came here to help y'all. The same way you come is the same way you can leave. That's what he told her. And then she says, you can't talk to her like that. That's what Letitia says. You can't talk to her like that. He said something to her that was disrespectful. And she said, what is wrong with y'all talking to elders like this? Like, I don't understand that. There's two sides to that. While he was being disrespectful, there's a way that you talk to an elder without being disrespectful. Without even though they're disrespectful, there's a way to maintain a level of respect for an elder without telling them, get the fuck out my house. I don't give a fuck who you are, right? It's this much left because this is your mother. She's an elder. I have this much respect for this bitch. Number one, she's in here in my marriage, dropping hints to you and clues to you that can possibly blow my damn cover. So I don't want her around. I don't want her feeding shit to you because I'm over here. I have you watching this house. I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do out here. I don't need this person in my damn business telling you and dropping clues to you so that you can give me the blues when she leaves. But Miss Wanda is there for a reason, and she sees Marceau for his fucking works. And that's why he don't want her around. And she lets him know, and she's not afraid to bite her tongue. Yeah, she's out of order and she shouldn't be. She's overstepping her boundaries. But if you can tell that your daughter is being taken by a narcissistic, misogynistic ass nigga, you're going to let him know, nigga, yes, my daughter might love you, but I got my motherfucking good eye on your ass, nigga. Trust and believe me. And I'm going to say it because she's not going to say it. You can't talk to her like that. I said, Letitia is stupid. She says, I move past stuff all the time. Girl, no, you don't, because whatever you got going on with Melody, you ain't moved past it. So that's a lie. So stop lying. Since you're kicking my mom out and making her feel unwelcome, then you're going to have to help more around the house. This nigga says, no, you're going to have to be home more. Girl, what's the benefit? Marcel turns around and says, you're going to have to be home more, child. She's trying to break us up. No. She's putting pieces of spine in her daughter's back so she can have so she can understand what she's saying to you. Because you really say whatever the hell you want to Letitia, and she's sitting there like, okay, well, okay. Her mother puts a battery in her back, and you don't like that. Because you want to be able to do what the hell you want to do and say what you want to say to her, and her not come back at you and say what she wants to say. We need to have a family meeting. For what? And then when she was done, after the mother left, she's like, and why did you drive that car to camping anyway? Thanks, Miss Wanda, for letting your daughter know. Don't no niggas drive sports cars to camping trip unless he was somewhere else before he went there. Because you ain't driving your sports car to impress your homeboys, right? Okay. Exactly. So we get to Chris and Martell. He basically explains to Chris that everything is on hold due to the divorce, even the 47 acres, and that, we're going to have a problem with the people because they are under contract with the 47 acres. He was like, I can't do nothing. I can't move forward with this divorce. Still trying to blame Mel. You can't blame Mel for this. This is yours. 47 acres can't be sold. He's like, this is going to be a problem. He was like, it hurt me. I was waiting for a $250,000 commission. It's hurting me too. It's hurting me. He said, this divorce is putting me through a lot and it's put me in a bad place and I'm prepared to hit rock bottom. You could see Martell. You could see his face. You can tell in his face he's realizing the consequences of his actions. He's realizing that. So at the Hey Brown Girl event, Melody shows up with their fake cordial greetings. They want to celebrate being a brown girl in America. And the little girls are just sharing their stories about their hair. And then they talk about this little girl who created a line of crayons that are different shades of browns called More Than Peach. And so they give honor to this little girl, and all the little girls are now coloring and things like that. So Melody, Destiny, and Kimmy are sitting down, and they talked about Melody missing Destiny's event and how she wants to make it up to them. So she was like, okay, well, let's go on a girls. They said, let's go on a girls trip. And Melody says, okay. So Kimmy is surprised that Melody actually agreed to go on the trip. And she thought that she would say no with all the shit that she has going on. But she said yes. So then Letitia comes and sits down and she invites Letitia. Letitia goes, who's all going? 3 days. I don't know. Maybe a day trip. And she was like, in her interview, she said, well, Kimmy doesn't support me and I still have these issues going on. And Melody is a mean girl. Then she asked, can we have some rules? And can we take our own cars? So she's asking these passive aggressive questions, right? That was aggression towards Melody in a passive way, right? Can we take our own cars? Can we set some rules? 3 days. Can we just do 1 day? Because see what it is that Letitia wants to hold on to Melody being a mean girl so that when she is relating to Melody, it's almost always going to be in a conflict. And when she's in conflict with Melody, it validates what she says about Melody being a mean girl. So instead of getting over it, she wants to hold on to that so that she can say that Melody is a mean girl. Letitia, you're not smart enough at all. Letitia isn't ready to move on, but she says she doesn't want any arguments or any fighting, and we need to have a safe word in case things get out of control. Kimmy says she wants everybody to be in a better place and that Tisha and Mel can spend some time together and hopefully get past this thing that Tisha has with Melody. Melody asks Letitia if she can talk to her on the side. So they go to the side. She's like, listen, girl, I'm trying to move forward. It just seems like, you were trying to be negative. That's the only reason I kind of walked away when we were in that group sitting down, is because I felt like you were kind of being negative. She was like, who, me? Negative? Like that. Like, girl, you're not smart enough. Like you perform these behaviors and then you try to play like nothing is wrong, but you're not smart enough to play it off. It's clear what you're doing. You're not really even savvy with your bullshit. You're not savvy enough. And everybody can see you coming from a mile away. She was like, well, I didn't want it to come off like that. She was like, well, I don't expect negativity. I don't want to have any negativity. And, let's just move past this, right? So they start sharing all of their community, the things that they're doing within the community. Mel shares what she's doing. Destiny shares what she's doing. Letitia shares what she's doing. And she was like, I just really want Letitia is just real phony. I don't know. She's just phony. The way that she acts being cordial is just phony. So then we get Marlene and Martell. Marlene is Martell's mother. He comes over with the kids. They're going to make cookies. And Martell says, this is what I want in a family, this environment. Obviously you didn't, because you made clear, conscious choices that took you out of what you say that you want. So you're lying to everybody and you're lying to yourself. Stop it. Please stop. How's Mel? The divorce is not coming fast enough, he says. She keeps going to social media. And I'm going to start saying things too. Because the kids asked me if I had a girlfriend. Well, who told you that? Mama. He says, well, I'm going to have to start saying that she has a boyfriend. So you're not learning. You're not learning. You're not taking accountability for your actions. If Mel cheated on you, you should have left. The same way she's leaving you, that's what you should have done. So, but what you thought was you were going to be in this marriage that mimics marriages of baby boomers and older generations where they stay no matter what. The man can have a full on relationship, 5-year relationship with a woman and have children, and the wife stay. Those days are over. They're over. They're over. I'm just going to start saying she has a boyfriend. He was like, if you want to talk about my mess, let's talk about yours too. See, he's still on that. And it's just like, you want to feel bad because it's like, dude, you're really going through it and you're really losing everything. From every aspect of your life, you're losing everything. Your sense of self, your wife, your children, your family dynamic, your business dealings, everything. Your reputation, you're losing it. Yes, you will get past it. People get past divorce. Some people don't, child. But hopefully you can. But because you're going through this, you can't be like, well, I'm going to tell what Mel is doing. Nigga, shut the fuck up. His mom says, well, what's going on with these rumors? And he was like, well, the girl is pregnant. I wish it wasn't true. And she was like, you don't have a choice. And it breaks my heart. His mother was really upset. She said it felt like a dream, right? And she says, you guys were building things together. You guys really had what we want to see modeled in a relationship, right? You got 3 kids. You both are successful. You work together. You're making money together. You're building. And you went out and created another relationship with a person for over 5 years and created a child because your wife wouldn't suck your dick. So that's where everything in your value is right here. Not your home life, not your children's life, not your business life. Everything is determined on what the tip of your dick is doing. You have no control, and I wouldn't hire you to do shit for me because you don't have any control and you don't have any discipline. Out of here. He says he will always have love for Mel. I hate to see her going through this. I would hurt if I was going through this too. Her mother is visibly upset. She will always be my daughter-in-law, child, whatever. Let me let me tell you something. I've seen women say, "Oh, she will always be my daughter-in-law," and all this other shit, whatever. Y'all built so much together, and then she goes, "You're you're a good man." She stuttered because she knows what you did. Yeah, you might be a good man, but what you did was not what good men do. Yeah, good men make mistakes. Good men make choices that have consequences to that they could lose everything. Yeah, that happens. We're not saying you're a bad person. The choices that you made to put you in this situation and the amount or the lack of accountability is what makes you look like a bad person. You can't even stand in your shit and be like, yeah, I was fucking this bitch raw dog for 5 years and I have a baby and I did what I did and I fucked up. But no, it's like, yeah, I fucked up, but you fucked up too. Well, if she had fucked up like you should have left. So that's your problem. And then I was watching them as they were eating cookies and he was lifting the baby up and hugging the baby and kissing the baby and stuff like that. And I'm like, these poor children. Like I said, I really hope that OWN is providing Melody and Martell and their children some really good resources so that they can get the mental health and the counseling and the therapy sessions that they can work through that because it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Divorce is not easy. It's not pretty, or you could have set the shit up like Kim and Kanye and they had all their shit set up in a prenup. And so when it's all said and done and when it's time to dissolve the marriage, it's no problem. We got our shit together. Just like you wanting to have a piece of Melody's beauty line. And she was like, no, you can't have shit. We're going to dissolve the business altogether. But because they have all of their businesses together, they can't sell anything until we divide everything into the divorce. So the acreage of land that you stole from your friends and bought, I don't know the full story about that, but you did some shady shit. And that's why the reason why Marcel and Maurice and Kimmy and them don't really want to fuck with you on that level. But you can't even sell that now because you and Melody own that together. So you can't sell, even though it's under contract. Those are the consequences when you dishonor your marriage, when you dishonor yourself, and when you dishonor your family. These are the consequences. And you can't blame anybody else for the choices that you made. You made those choices. You made those decisions. You lied to your wife. You was having unprotected sex with two women, your wife and your girlfriend, and you got her pregnant. But Melody cheated. No, nigga, yeah, she might have cheated. She might have did, but she didn't have no baby. And that's the crazy part, because a lot of people are like, the cheating part. So many women will be like, yeah, he cheated. So many women will take a man back, but when you produce a baby, it's like, oh hell no. No, now you got Melody looking crazy. She already looked crazy for taking you back and having a baby with you. That last baby. She looked crazy for that. But you think she's going to stay after you have a baby around the corner? No, sir. Absolutely not. You guys let me know what you think of the episode. It's bad. It's bad. Let me know what you think of the episode. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.